Hi crafters, welcome back to my channel, Choose Joy with Carmen. And in today's video, I am going to be sharing the steps that I use to create this cute little um, 3D candy holder, and it holds a Tootsie Pop inside. And I had created this for a Craft Roulette episode. It was episode number 171. And in that video, I said that I would go ahead and when I was making the rest of them, because I have 20 Tootsie Pops that I need to use up, I said that I would go ahead and create a video and show you the steps that I did to create this. So that's what I'm doing today. And I did a little I'm going to do something different on this, a little different than this one, but we will go through that step by step. So the first thing that we're going to do is I took a piece of pecan pie cardstock from Stampin' Up, and then I have this 7/8 of an inch scallop circle, and all I did was just punched it out, and then I went ahead and took the 5/8 inch from this Peachy Keen stamp set, and it's from the 5/8 inch because there's different sizes of faces, and I took the smiley face from this set, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that with Early Espresso ink, and I'm going to put that right in the middle of that circle. And let's see if I can do this without getting my head in the camera. Do the best I can. Okay, not too bad. Then I went ahead and took the pecan pie with a sponge dauber, since this is the cardstock color. And let's get this open. And then I just inked up my dauber and went around the edges to give it a little extra look on that scalloped circle. And then that's what you get right there. Isn't that so cute? So that's the first step, and I have to do 20 of them. So I went ahead and already did that ahead of time. So I have all my little faces here ready to go. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull in the next step that I did. So I wanted to use Stampin' Blends, and usually I use my Memento Tuxedo Black ink to do my stamping, so that when I use the Stampin' Blends, that it will be, so it won't bleed into each other. But I didn't want that dark color, so what I did is I stamped it in. I have a Memento Rich Cocoa. So I stamped my sunflower, and that came from the Celebrate Sunflower set. And I stamped this one right here, and I went ahead and stamped that on some very vanilla cardstock, and I'm making 20 of them, and then I go ahead and I color them. So here's a few that I've colored. Now I was playing around with the coloring, so some of them are going to look different than the others, but finally what I settled on was I go ahead and start off with my Dark Mango Melody, and I believe this is a retired one. And what I do is I go ahead and outline all the petals with this, and then I also add a little of the color on the the darker areas of the flower. And then I go in with the dark Daffodil Delight, and I go just around the center there on the petals, and I'll I'll do this and I'll show you how I did it, and I'll fast forward it so you don't have to watch me color. And then I brought in the light Daffodil Delight, and then I color everything on the petals to give it that blended look. And then I bring in the dark Granny Apple Green, and I just do my leaves. And then I go back over, same with the Granny Apple Green, and just do a little bit of extra on the darker areas. And you really can't, I don't think you can really tell, but when you put it on a second time, it makes it a little darker. But then for the center, I really don't have to color it, right? Because this is going to go there. But I wanted to go ahead and color it just in case, because I'm going to pop that part up. So I just went ahead with my Pecan Pie Stampin' Right marker and did the centers. So I'm going to go ahead and get my place set up here with a piece of scrap paper underneath so that my Stampin' Blends, because they bleed through. If you notice, they bleed through when you color with Stampin' Blends. And so I don't want to get ink on this. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my thing, and then I'll come back and color one in fast forward so that you can see how I did it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the dark Mango Melody and the thinner end, and outline my flower petals. Okay, so that's all I did with the dark Mango Melody. Now I'm going to bring in my dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to go around the center of, on the petals, around the center area of the flower. Okay, so that's what I did there. Now I'm going to come in with the light Daffodil Delight and color all the petals, and then that way I can be blending in the colors that are already there into one complete petal. Okay, so now that kind of did that blending, but yet you can still see a little bit of that Mango Melody. Hopefully you can on the camera. I don't see it very well on the camera there, but I can see it on my flower. And now I'm going to take the, what was it? The dark Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to go ahead and do my leaves. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with the smaller tip and just kind of go around the petals and where those dark lines are on the leaves. Okay, I don't know if you can see the difference, but it just gives it a little darker color there. Now I'm going to take my Stampin' Right marker and just color the center. Okay, and normally I don't like to color with the markers because, it leaves streaks. It doesn't blend as well as the blends. But because I'm going to be putting that little face over there, I wasn't concerned. I just wanted to make sure that if you tilted it, that you didn't see that, the cardstock, the very vanilla underneath there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and color all the rest of these and then die cut them out. And then I'm also going to take some crushed curry cardstock, and with the same die that I'm going to use to cut out the flowers, I'm going to just cut out some crushed curry, because this is going to go on the back of the flower. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what I did with the edges of that. And then we'll continue on with the rest of the project. Be back. Okay, I have all my sunflowers die cut now. And then I also die cut the crushed curry. And because the back side is what we're going to really see, that's where I'm going to do my sponging. So I don't know if you can tell. I mean, I can tell what the back is from the front. So I'm going to work on the back side, and basically I'm going to take some crushed curry and I'm going to take a stamping sponge and just dip it into my ink pad, and then just do some sponging around the back side of this die cut that will be used to cover up the backs of the sunflowers that I just die cut. So it'll look something like this. So this will be the front, and then that'll be the back. And then we'll have the Tootsie Pops stick in between the two. So I'm going to do all of them, and then I wanted to show you what I'm doing with the sticks. I took the Stampin' Blend, the same one that I colored the leaves with, the dark granny apple green, took the brush end side, and basically just on while the brush is on the side, I just went ahead and colored the whole stick instead of putting washi tape like I did on the one that I created for Craft Roulette. And I just think this is easier, quicker, and then you can get the color that you want, because on the washi tape on that I had it, I didn't really like the green that I used. It didn't match very well. And then I just tap a little color up here, and then you get that done, and then the stick will be all colored. So I'm going to go ahead and sponge all these, and then we're going to come back, and then I'm going to show you how to create the pot that's going to hold this, and then we'll put it all together and we'll be done with this project. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I got all my backside sponge, but I decided to add a stamped sentiment on the back because I'm giving these to it's going to be at our last night of our Galatians Bible Study, and I figured I could get rid of 20 of these quickly in a group like that. And since we're studying Galatians, the one thing, we are reminded over and over again that how much God loves us, right? And so I thought this would be a cute sentiment on the back that says, know that you are loved. And I guess I could write like God at the bottom here, but I'm just going to probably leave it like this. And I got that sentiment also from the Celebrate Sunflowers, so that worked out perfectly. So now we're going to work on the pot itself. And so this is copper clay cardstock, and I have it cut at 7.5 by 2.5. And then I'm going to score it, and I have all my little marks here so I don't have to think each time because I've got 20 of these to do. So I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. And then this is at, let's see, 3. Okay, looks a little crooked there. Just want to make sure. Yeah. So this is at 3, and this is at 4.5, and then at 7. And so I'm going to do that with all of the ones that I have cut out. But then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. Because I wanted that textured look like this on my pot, what I'm going to do is I have this Subtle 3D embossing folder. And so I'll probably fold it over like this. And I will do, because I'm not concerned about the bottom. And I will put this in here, and I'm probably going to be able to do 2 at a time if I do it like this. So I will do the same for this one, and then put it in here. I possibly could do 4 at a time, because I could score the other ones and put them on this side. And I might do that. That way I'd only have to run this through a few times instead of 1 at a time. But then you have to turn it over and do the other side as well if you want it to be on the back. So then you would put that back in the back side and do it all over again. And so that's what I'm going to do. Get these all scored and embossed. And then I'll be back and we'll continue on to finish up this project. Okay, so I'm back and got all that embossed. Now when you run it through the second time for the other side, you're going to find that the part that you already ran through is going to get smashed. So I would make that your back and make the more distinguished embossing to be your front. Now you may need to, because we had the score lines, so you might be able to see them and be able to fold it back. But if you don't, then you can go ahead and put it back in and score that at those 2 1/2-inch marks. So what I would do is just to be safe, you could bring this back in, and then we're going to be folding this back. So you could do it the opposite direction. So let's go ahead and just do that. Let's make that score line again at the 1/2-inch and then at the 7.5. Then that way it's clearer on where we need to fold those back at, like that. And you can pull in your bone folder if you want to get that nice and crisp, because that's going to be the top of our pot. But then what we're going to do is we need to angle it. So what I've done, and you can do this whatever makes you comfortable, I went ahead and used the same ink as the cardstock because I'm going to be sponging anyway. So I don't really care if I see that, if I don't cut it right on the line. But what I did was I just took a little ruler and I just went in about just a little over a 1/4 of an inch on each side, and I made a little dot there at the top. And then all I did was I took my ruler from that dot and met it down at the corner here, and then ran a line so that I could have some guidelines of where I'm going to be cutting that out. And you just got to remember, don't cut the top flap, because we want that to flap over and hang over like this. So you just want to make sure that you just cut from here right up to that dot where we scored that at. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on all mine, and then I'll be back. Okay, now they're all cut. And so this is basically how it's going to go together, and then these are going to flap down. But because we want to do some sponging and we're going to glue this down, I decided to go ahead and sponge on this part of the edge on both sides before I did my gluing. So I just took some of my copper clay and a stamping sponge, dipped it in the ink, and then I just sponged the edges there on all of them. And then it's just a matter of, now you can use whatever adhesive you want. It's just easier for me with the glue because I can focus here, you know, I can know where to stop it. And then I just kind of, I don't go to this edge right here because that's not going to attach to anything. So then I just kind of add some glue there and fold it over. And you can put a stamping block on it or whatever to hold it down. And then I work on the other side. And then I can put that block there. And then we can just then continue on sponging around the rest. So I would just sponge all the way, you know, all the way around this top part, and then also down the sides here. You don't really have to worry about the bottom, but I mean you could if you wanted to, just on the edges there. And then just keep going around the entire piece. And then once you get the edges done, then you can kind of fold this part over, and because this is going to be the bottom edge, and then fold that over and then do the bottom and do the same on the other side. And then there you go. So then now you'll have all the edges sponged and on both sides. And remember, like I told you earlier, when we go to put it together, we're going to take the side that got, you know, when we ran it through the embossing machine with the embossing folder, the second time this part got smashed down a little. So we're going to make that our back when we get to that step. But now I'm just going to go ahead and do all these and then come back and we can continue on finishing up this little project. Be right back. Okay, I think it's time now to finally finish up this project. So I have all the edges sponged, and then on the inside I've taken a piece of tear and tape, put it in the middle here at the bottom, and then also on one of the foldovers on the inside. And don't go all the way to the middle because we're not gonna, you know, we're gonna have to make room for the stick to fit through there. So I've decided that this is gonna be my front because it shows more of the embossing than this side. So I'm gonna make this my front, and I put some tear and tape on both sides of the stick here so that I can attach these pieces here, and then I'm going to attach this to the middle here, and I put a Stampin' Dimensional on the back. And then I've created a little bow here from a retired early espresso ribbon, and I found some little buttons, and I thought that would be cute in the middle so that I could adhere it to the front here with some glue and a glue dot on this, or a glue dot on both, we'll see. So what I'm going to do now is start the assembling, and then I will speed it up as I put it together. Be right back. Okay, I think that's been put together. Came out so cute. And what I love about the ones that I did for this video is the adding the bow. I think that adds a little something. And then also adding the sentiment on the back. I think that is going to be a nice little gift for my group as we end up our Galatians study. And hopefully I have enough because we've, have different amount of people show each time. But if not, I guess they will just have to decide who doesn't get one, right? Because all I have is 20 to take. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel and you've not subscribed, I would appreciate if you would subscribe because I'm really trying to hit my 1,000 followers. This little button here is kind of bugging me because the little dots, but I guess I'm not going to worry about it. I'll be more careful with the rest. And so anyway, I'm trying to hit my 1,000 mark. So if you have not subscribed and you subscribe, that would really help me out a lot. And I would appreciate it so much. Okay, well, until my next video, remember, choose joy, and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.